Hi, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me today. Today, I am excited to be a part of a hop. This hop was organized and created by Courtney Kreber, Mary Polanco, and Jen at Scrapbina Creations. The theme of the hop is encouragement, and the hop was created to allow all card makers, regardless of their social media platform, the opportunity to be a part of a hop. So, this hop will include videos. It will also include blog posts, and it also will include card makers who have sent their cards in to be shown in a video, which I believe Courtney's going to be showing that video, but it could be one of the three, Courtney or Mary or Jen, or maybe they'll split it. I'm not really sure. But their channels will have, or I'll link all their channels so that you can see the cards that were sent in. All the cards that were sent in are going to be donated to or split among three charity organizations, which are Ronald McDonald House, Hospice, and St. Jude's Children's Hospital. The card that I created will be donated to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. That is the charity that I've chosen to send mine to. I encourage you to check out all of the posts and the videos and all of the cards that were created for this hop. I believe there are quite a few, so there should be lots of awesome ideas, and don't hesitate to leave comments and to subscribe to channels that you're interested in, and I hope you enjoy. For the card that I created today, I am using several different products. The first one I'm going to use is the 6x6 pattern paper by Pink Fresh Studio. It's just a little lovely is the name of the paper pad. I'll also be using this honeybee geometric background stencil, and also this waffle flower microgrid panel die. I think this is that first die that I bought from them, and I didn't realize that they come with these wonderful magnets, and since I store mine on magnets, it was very helpful to have that. I'm taking this piece of pattern paper, and I'm going to go ahead, and I've used my embossing bag on the pattern paper because I am going to be embossing, and this is a new product for me, this embossing dauber. If you don't have a dauber, you can definitely use a embossing the ink pad and just run it across. Since I'm not covering the entire stencil with the embossing ink, I really like the dauber because it gives a lot of control over where you want that ink to go. But you can do random with the ink pad also. I'm going to go ahead for this and use clear embossing powder, but white would also look really cool for this project. This is an easy way also to kind of skip a step almost in a card. You can definitely, do a watercolor background instead of, using a piece of pattern paper. I just was experimenting a little bit, and I thought it would be cool. I love this paper and this paper pad. So now I have turned the stencil so that the lines are not the same as what they were when I embossed it, and I'm using some Catherine Pooler inks. The colors I'm using are Fiesta Blue, Lemoncello, and Garden Party, and I'm just using my little Amazon makeup brush to do that. And then I've spritzed it with some water, and I'm blotting that off, and then just kind of wiping the paper towel over to get some of the color to stand out a little bit more. And the reason I colored the whole 6x6 paper instead of cutting it down right away is I wasn't really sure, because there was a lot of pretty colors. I wasn't sure which portion I was going to keep and what I was going to cut out. So I'm taking the die, the waffle flower die, and I've run that through my die cut machine. Luckily, it keeps a lot of the little squares in there. I only ran it through my die cutting machine once. If I had done it twice, a lot more probably would have come out, but I wanted to keep a lot of them in there. But as you can see, I removed quite a few. And then the die that I'm using has the shadow portion and then the letter portion. So I'm taking the shadow portion and cutting that out of my card panel. And that's going to be popped up at the end. The die is from the Stamp Market. It's called You're Amazing, and I bought it from Ellen Hudson, but I believe it is retired, so I don't think it's available any longer. And what I'm going to do is take the piece of vellum and adhere the words "You're Amazing" to that piece. But first, I am taking some double-sided tape around the outside of the panel just to make sure that that is adhered really well. And then I'm taking my red top fine liner and getting into those smaller spaces. And this little glue thing is so great for getting into smaller spaces. I would love to try the little like syringe things, but I don't know. I don't usually like putting my glue into other containers. And I don't know how much I would like that. So I like this because it's a small tip. I think it's a 14 gauge and it works really well for the details. So I'm going to set that aside and let that dry, and then I'm going to grab my vellum shadow piece. And I didn't realize that this die has the word split, and I'm not really sure why it's done that way. I got another die, I think it was a Pink Fresh Studio die, and it was split also, but it was just the word hello. So I'm not really sure why they do that. I don't know if it's easier to put on the shadow piece or because of the font of the lettering, maybe. I'm not sure. So I'm just taking my glue and going behind the lettering, which I've die cut on white cardstock. And then I'm taking my little precision tweezers, which I usually don't use because I've had a hard time using them. I'm just uncoordinated, I think. And so I've always like, how do you get these to close at the same time? I don't know. At any rate, so I've got the words that I'm going to use my glue, my fine liner glue again, and I'm just going behind the cardstock white so that it does not show through on the vellum. And then that will be adhered to the little grid panel piece. And then I have this thread. I believe I probably got it from Walmart or Joann's or Hobby Lobby or somewhere. And it's kind of a thin silver thread. And I've just cut off an amount that I think I'm going to use. And how I twist it is I do one finger like a couple times, then 2, 3, 4, just depending on how big I want the loops to be. But it gives a really random kind of graduated pattern, which I like. And then I've adhered some foam tape to the back of my sentiment piece, and I'm adhering the thread to the back of that, and then using a piece of double-sided tape just to kind of make sure that stays down. And then I'll use my glue again to go over the back just to make sure that it will adhere really well. So I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment piece. And then I will let that dry. And while that's drying, I go ahead and create the second sentiment piece for the card. And this is just black cardstock. We're using white embossing, and it says "Just the Way You Are." And this is actually an Altenew stamp set, and the stamp set is titled "You Are." And I've already gone ahead and used some liquid pearls in mint green and ballerina, and I've just put those in several of the little empty squares. And then I'm going to finish up with the lemon chiffon. And that will complete this card. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it or found it informative, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, please go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy your journey along this hop. I look forward to watching all of the videos and visiting the blogs and seeing all the cards that were created for this very encouraging hop. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll catch you later.